Just a dad, can't keep up with the flow. 50 years with stories to tell. Raising teens, oh, it's a living hell. Refresh with Jeff, let the truth unfold. Worn out shoes, but never too old. Get it off my chest, let the laughter roll. Ranting here with my heart and soul. Complain about the gray in my hair, but these kids don't care. It's like screaming at the death, so grab a beer and refresh with Jeff.
All right, welcome to Refresh with Jeff. That's me. I'm Jeff. Just a regular 50-year-old dad of two teenagers that's been married for just about 18 years now. I almost said 15. I wish it was 0. I just lay awake at night worrying about things I have no control over. So the goal of this vlog is to get some things off of my chest. Hopefully by the end of this vlog, I will be refreshed. And yes, I did say vlog. I know they call it a podcast now, but I'm hoping, like in the fashion industry back in the 70s, they had bell bottoms. In the 90s, it made a full turnaround, came back, but instead they called them Jinkos. I'm hoping we can do the same thing with technology. I need to restart it, so this time I can pay attention and learn, because I need help with everything when it comes to my phone, my laptop, or even streaming services. Yeah, I'm technically a technological retard, would be the term. That's why I need technology to come full circle. I mean, this time I'll pay attention. I want to learn. I'm willing to be a nerd. I'm done trying to get laid. I'm done going to concerts and sporting events. I mean, I want to be able to tell the difference between a real picture of Michelle Obama getting her dick sucked by AOC and an AI one.
Quick fact check, Michelle Obama would never let AOC suck her dick.
All right, you guys, that's our producer, my 14-year-old daughter, Kaylana. She's going to be producing this show for us. She's going to be doing the fact checks as well, keeping it 100.
Quick fact check, only douchebags say keep it 100.
All right, so, and she's obviously going to be a smart ass too. Don't know where she got that. This episode is our first episode, and I am so happy to have this guy as my guest. He's so funny, great comedian. Love this dude to death. Everybody give it up for Daniel Lowe.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this garage that are all clapping. It won't be an applause add-in later, I promise.
So we'll start off by introducing yourself. We'll start off by introducing you to the people. So you're a comedian here in town as well, in Reno.
Yeah.
This will be seen by people outside of Reno. Not many, just pretty much my family. But
yeah, I know how it goes. I have a podcast too.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing comedy?
I started doing stand-up comedy in 2019. So since then, 6 years, I guess. But a lot of that was pandemic. So how much can you do during that time, you know? So
yeah, because I remember when you came to Reno and right out the bat, you already had some stuff. And was like, no, he's been doing it.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw you, I was like, oh no, he's already either written stuff, and because that was kind of my thing, is way back when I started, when I came on, it clicked for me pretty well on the scene that I was at up in Seattle and Tacoma. It's because I just sat and wrote forever and never went up, and then I went up, and so then every open mic I went to for like 2 months, which was a lot of open mics, I had new material. I had brand new 5 minutes for every one of them.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was like, oh, this guy's either been writing forever or he's been doing this.
I definitely was writing a lot more than I was doing comedy. I had started in when I was in South Korea. I was in the military, so I started in South Korea in this little GI bar, and like I was terrified the whole time. Most of the people there couldn't understand my jokes anyway, except for the like 5 like military people I was there with. And then I came to Omaha, and like I was doing a lot of more improv than I was stand up, but I was still writing jokes. So yeah, when I came here, like I had a bunch of stuff written, but yeah, I needed time on stage to get better, you know?
Yeah. So you said when you came back, you lived in Omaha.
Yeah, so that was my last station before I got out of the military, was in Omaha, Nebraska, which is a phenomenal city to do comedy in. I
I
will
lived
say.
there.
Yeah, really?
I lived in Council Bluffs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Across the bridge.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, right
Which
there
is
in
not
Iowa.
the same as across the bridge, like in not big cities. It's
Yeah, no, it's
literally
literally right there.
there.
The river is not that wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. You live in Council Bluffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was stationed at the God, I can't even remember the name of the base.
Yeah, I don't.
Uh,
I was there for 6 months and couldn't. And I went there for the winter six.
Oh yeah. Those are tough winters. I knew that it snowed there, but like it got well below zero at one point, and I'm like, we took our dogs out to go to the bathrooms like late at night or whatever, and we had to dig them tunnels, like not tunnels, but like pass through the snow because they're little tiny dogs. And then they got so cold, they just laid down and tried to, I don't know, die. I don't know. We had to pick them up and take them inside. I was like, what are you guys?
Yeah, no, it was not my favorite place in the world.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I'd never seen in person 15-foot snowbanks before.
Yeah. It's
You know?
crazy. Yeah.
And also, Council Bluffs across the bridge, tiny little town.
Yeah. Very small.
Parking meters in downtown. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, it's either that. That's the only way they make money is that in the casino. I mean, that's it.
Go to see a movie, you have to come out halfway through it to put money in because it only takes your quarter for an hour.
Oh, that's
As much as you
crazy.
could put in was an hour. And it's like, how much for the fucking movie?
Those are like first generation parking meters.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's my age. I was like, yeah, they probably bought them from some other town and put them in. Hey, we'll make some money off of this.
Yeah, wait, when did you live in Council Bluffs?
I think I was like around 22, 23. So that would be 96, 97.
Okay. Yeah. For the record, I was 6 years old. So that's cool though.
Yeah.
I never would have said the words Council Bluffs to anyone because no one knows what that is. But yeah, that was like right across the.
Yeah. So when you were in the military,
Uh.
how many different first of all, how long were you in the military?
I was only in for 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, most people are in for 4.
Yeah.
But you stayed in longer than
Yeah.
a
Well, I
lot
had
of
a
people.
sort of like a special job, and they didn't do 4-year contracts for my job. You had to do 6 because the first 2 of my years were just straight up training. I didn't do any job where like I just trained for my job. That's it. So
Yeah. So for your 6 years, how many different bases were you stationed? Because I don't know how this. I mean, I grew up in a military family,
yeah.
but my dad was kind of kicked out when I was very young. And so
Yeah.
I don't know from that point on. So I was just
Gotcha.
wondering how many in a 6-year period, how many different bases are you stationed at?
So they usually like to, we call it PCSing, which is a permanent change of station. They usually like to move you every couple of years depending on your job. So I did it but my training, I had 2 different training places, and then I had 2 different bases after that. So I had 4 total different places I lived. Monterey, California, San Angelo, Texas, South Korea, and then Omaha, Nebraska. Those are 4 places.
So you started off in Monterey, California, and went downhill from there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If I could change my life, I'd go back to Monterey.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of rich old people in
Yeah.
the most beautiful place in the world. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy, dude.
Well, so being in and I've heard you do jokes about it,
Yeah.
about being in Korea and South Korea and stuff. And so, I will say that you know a decent amount about South Korea.
Uh-huh.
I'm married to a Korean woman.
Uh-huh.
My daughter/producer here is
Half
part
Korean?
Korean.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, just by listening to your comedy, you know 10 times more words in Korean than they know.
Yeah, I probably,
Because the way you do your comedy and the things you've said, it's funny to me.
I could probably, yeah. Well, I had to learn Korean, the language Korean that's what I did the first 2 years of my like military career is I went to language school just to learn Korean. And, they're brutal, dude. Korean people are just brutal when it comes to education. I was in there like 8 hours a day doing Korean, and then you have 4 hours of homework. And by the way, they're legally not allowed to give you more than 2 hours of homework, and they still gave us 4. So that's how Koreans don't give a shit. They're like, you're gonna learn this, or we're gonna fucking kill you. That's
Catholic kids
Yeah.
here complaining about the nuns hitting them with the ruler, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, try a razor blade dildo.
Yeah. I grew up Catholic. My family's like, I'm not Catholic, but like my mom and all of her brothers and sisters are all very Catholic or whatever. they got nothing on like Koreans commit suicide because education is so hard over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like light up their bridges all fancy and like do crazy stuff to keep people from committing suicide, and they do it because it's so hard. It's so life is so hard there when you're in school. So yeah, I mean I get it.
Do your math. Do you want to see the lights on the bridge after this?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But so before the military, you grew up in the South in Alabama,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Mobile, Alabama, right on the coast, but sandwiched between Florida and Mississippi. Was I love Mobile. It's like I'll never move back there permanently. Well, I say never, but I probably won't move back there permanently. But like, you're on the coast. Like, I grew up fishing, going outdoors hunting, like all kind of stuff like that. Just like living the like outdoor life down there is amazing, you know. And we're like an hour from good beaches and like 30 minutes from some really shitty beaches, but you know.
Yeah, where you get crabs but you still get laid.
Yeah, that's right. And some dude, you know, about 50 yards away is doing meth on in his little tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like that for a lot of people, especially here in Reno. A lot of us are not from here originally.
Yeah.
This is a pretty big cesspool of everywhere in the nation.
That's a good word for it, I think, cesspool.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what it is. I mean,
Yeah, I've noticed that here too. Like, I'll talk to so many people and I'll be like, "Are you from Reno?" No, they're not from Reno. I'm like,
yeah. I think out of the comedians that we all talk to, I think there's like two that are from the area, not necessarily Reno, but from the area.
yeah,
You know, or some within driving distance.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the Bay Area, but so and that's the way it is for me. For growing up in Seattle and
Yeah.
stuff too is it's a great place and
Mhm.
stuff. I don't think I would never move back there permanently, but
Yeah.
I will go back to visit.
Yeah,
and I'll go
yeah.
back and spend some time there, and not. I mean, I have friends and family still there and stuff, and so it'd be great to see them. But I mean, if I was going to go on vacation somewhere for like a 3 or 4 day weekend, I would go back there
Yeah,
just
for
to
sure.
just to experience it again
Yeah.
and stuff. It is. I didn't hate it. I hated the situation there. The traffic is miserable.
Yeah,
The
it's
people
bad.
are dicks,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff.
My
But it's a
brother-
great place. It's super pretty. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and so I understand. I think that's a way a lot of people that live here now are. Is
Yeah.
they're like, you know, they don't hate where they grew up or where they're from, but they don't want to live there anymore.
Yeah.
They want it to be a place where they go for like a 3 day weekend and then come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like I'll go and visit, you know, stay for a week, then I gotta go. You know,
Yeah.
there's better thing. Not that Reno is better than where I grew up. It's definitely. I mean, it's not better than
No,
where I grew
it's
up.
just
Yeah,
things
It's
get
funny.
old quick.
yeah. My brother was stationed at in Seattle. It's Fort Lewis, maybe.
Yeah, it's south of Seattle. It's between
Yeah.
It's between Tacoma and Olympia.
Yeah, he lived.
Yeah.
They lived in Olympia, and
It used to be Fort Lewis. Now it's joint base Fort Lewis
Yeah.
and McCord.
it's Fort Lewis McCord for sure. Yeah, he lived in Olympia with his wife, and they had a baby. So I visited there once, and it was amazing. Like, hated the traffic though. That's one.
Yeah.
And it was in the winter time too, so like it was snowing and shit. But yeah, I hated the traffic, but it's so beautiful. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
It's hilly, green. It's green.
Yeah,
year
everything's
round.
green. Yeah, my wife really wants to visit like the Pacific Northwest just because of the like how beautiful it is. I'm like, it's great, but
Tons of lakes.
I don't want to
everywhere.
live there, but
Yeah.
it's great.
That's what I tell people. I was like, it's a great place to go visit.
Yeah.
Because then when I tell them, why would you move? It's I'm like, well, it's a great place to visit.
Uh-huh.
That's like me. From high school, I got a grant to go to broadcasting school in
Uh-huh.
Phoenix. I went down there, did that, hated it, and because I was there for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Moved back to Seattle. Ended up moving back to Phoenix because of situations or whatever. I stayed there as long as I could, and then I moved back to Seattle again. And I'm like, "Well, why would you leave Phoenix? Phoenix is a great place to visit.
Yeah.
It's 4 days is what I can take in Phoenix. It doesn't matter if it's the winter. It doesn't matter if it's monsoon season. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's summer. I can take 4 days. I need to be the fuck out.
Yeah, I've been to Phoenix once, I think. And I mean, it's just it's Red Rock Desert. I mean, there's beautiful parts, but it's hot and it's, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Reno's kind of like a mix between the Pacific Northwest and Phoenix. Like,
It
we
is.
have like just like 30, 45 minutes away, those green, luscious wet forests. And then you come a little closer and you get to Reno and it's desert, rocky, dead.
Yeah,
You know?
in the winter you have 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
yeah.
crazy to me. I didn't know anything about high deserts until I moved here. I
Yeah.
mean, we used to come here for vacation and say, we'd come here for vacations like for the Super Bowls and stuff, and there's snow on the ground and stuff. I'm like, okay, it's a snow town. And then I find out it's the high desert. I was like, what do you mean high desert? And like, no, it means in the summer, it's fucking hot and
Yeah.
it's a desert.
Yeah.
And there's rattlesnakes and there's scorpions, and then in the wintertime, you get snow. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. We knew that it snowed here. We didn't know the extent. When we first moved here, my wife and I, there was one of the worst like snowstorms Nevada's had, like northern Nevada's had in a long time. And we were without power for 5 days. This is an attack on Nevada Energy. You guys suck. Everything you do is terrible. You all should be fired. Every single employee from top to, I won't say the bottom ones. The bottom ones are probably pretty good. But the top employee, because you have no investment in the power structure here. And we were without power for 5 days because the snow fell on the power lines. That's it. It wasn't like a major, like, it's just, you guys weren't prepared. So fuck Nevada Energy, NV Energy.
I will say they are prepared when it comes to the roads, though, which is amazing. Because in Seattle, if it snows like an inch and a half, the city's shut down for 3 days. Here, if it snows a foot, that road is open by 10 a.m.
Yeah, I will say I am biased because I said I was in Omaha. They clear the roads like at 4 a.m. So like by 6 a.m. everything's done. And you can just go to work normally, unless it's like catastrophic snow. But like, yeah, they license like regular people to just go out and plow snow. They put freaking things. People like buy the scoopers to put on the front of their trucks, and they just go get a license from and then they go and make.
Too. There's because I love where I work when I'm outside a lot. You see the trucks. There's just people in people's driveway. They have their own fucking snow plows on their trucks, and they all go out and plow their own neighborhood with all their other friends and stuff. And it's like, oh shit.
And I loved that. Like it was. I love that the roads. We live in this little stupid, like half like. It's like a giant cul-de-sac of townhomes, and it's all private. So like the city doesn't go in there to plow anything. So it's like, if it's a bad storm, it's like 2 days before we actually have clean streets in the neighborhood. But like there's street right out.
Winter here, our parking lot here and this road down here, that's a sheet of ice for fucking 2 weeks. When it freezes.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Yeah, you figure like.
I was gonna ask you also, being from Alabama and being where you were located there in Mobile. I don't know a ton about. I never went to Alabama. I've been to a lot of the southern states, but I did. This has nothing really to do with that. But when you being from Mobile, Alabama, and being centrally located compared to other states, are you guys a lot like Reno is, as far as you hate the other states? Like you hate people from Florida, or you hate people from Mississippi?
Yeah.
Right? Because here everybody hates everybody from California.
We have a motto in Alabama. It's kind of like an unofficial state slogan, but it's at least we're not Mississippi.
Yeah, okay.
That's the whole. We're bad. We're terrible. We suck. But at least we're not Mississippi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is true though, because Mississippi is god awful. It's so bad. Everything about that state is terrible. But yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much. We don't really hate on Florida because Florida is better than we go to Florida because it's like we have a vacation. Where are we going? We're going to Pensacola. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna go to Florida because they have nicer beaches. But yeah, no, we definitely hate it on other states.
Yeah. I mean, we had it up in Seattle too, but here the hate on Bay Area from Reno, which is so close.
Yeah,
it's just amazing. I was like, dude, it's literally right there.
The problem I see with that is that it's not like we hate on Mississippi, whatever, but like people in Reno hate people in California, in the Bay Area specifically, because it's better over there. That's why they hate them. That's the whole thing, is just because they have it better. Yeah, there might be a ton of traffic, but like, this is fucking Reno. Like,
yeah,
you live in Reno. Like,
yeah, because up in Western Washington, our whole thing is Portland is kind of the enemy.
Yeah.
But the real enemy is west of the mountains. So it's actually in our state still. Spokane, west of the mountains is what everybody hates up there. You fuck Wazoo. Everybody's Husky fans on the west side. On the east side of the mountains, it's Wazoo.
Yeah.
And then you get a couple of traders here and there that go to Wazoo for college, and so then
Yeah.
because they like to party, because that's where you go to party.
That's it's funny you bring that because I didn't know that like other places. I have found that most other places aren't as crazy as about college teams as we are in Alabama. Like all growing up, if someone moved to Alabama from somewhere anywhere else in the entire, it does not matter where you're from, what you did. The first question you get asked is Alabama or Auburn. That's it. And so
Yeah.
it's funny when you're talking about Wazoo versus Huskies, you know, because it's like that was in my DNA. Like you're just
Yeah.
like, what kind of fan are you? And if you're some other kind of fan, give it up and choose one because you're here now. Like you
Yeah.
don't get to be an Ohio State fan now.
Yeah.
You're here. Choose. You know.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, there is some that are bigger than others,
Yeah.
and that people know about. But I think that that's probably pretty true, at least in one sport or another. I mean, football is one sport.
Yeah.
Baseball that could be a different sport and stuff. Um, but like yeah, obviously football, Alabama, Auburn. But
Yeah.
there's other states that have that: Florida, Florida State,
Yeah.
Miami, Florida State, Miami, Florida. You know,
I guess, but I think most outside of the South, most of the world, most of the U.S. cares more about like pro teams or whatever. We don't have any of that shit in Alabama, so we don't.
I
It's
would say,
college football, college baseball till we die.
yeah.
Like we had a man. Okay, so there's these two oak trees. They're like hundreds of years old.
I remember,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the Auburn University campus. And we win a game, we roll these oak trees. That's what we do. It's like the best tradition in college football. It's the coolest thing in the world. This man got so mad. He was an Alabama fan. Got so
Poisoned
mad at Alabama. Yeah, he poisoned them. Where does that happen? Michigan, Ohio State? I don't care. Your rivalry sucks compared to ours, dude. People are crazy about that
I
stuff.
don't know about it. I think Michigan Ohio State is the most intense of them all because there's been
No.
people that have like threatened to kill family members over that fucking game. It's like,
Oh, we have had family members killed over the Iron Bowl, dude. Like it's insane. It's like it's always the talk of like it's a rivalry amongst rivalries because we're like, yeah, we are the best rivalry, and then Michigan Ohio State's like, no, we're the best rivalry. So it's like another rivalry, but there's no beating. If you've ever been to college football in the South, there's nothing else. Like it just is a different animal. People with no teeth will be out there just in their Crimson Tide shirts, just yelling at little children in Auburn shirts. Like it's insane, dude. They don't care. It's nuts.
yeah, no, yeah. I've been to a couple games, not in Alabama. Obviously, I've never been to Alabama, but I've been to a couple of games in the South, and yeah, it's intense. Like you see some shit, you failed your child because the cotton kid's wearing a fucking the other team's.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
you failed your child as a parent.
Yeah. That happened in my family because my dad's side of the family is all Alabama fans. And then I'm an Auburn fan. Me and my mom are the only two Auburn fans in our entire family. Everyone else is Alabama or something else. But like, so my mom failed me according to the rest of my family. Yeah.
So, is the fandom there based off of location of the state, or is it based off of just how you're raised when you're there?
So it's definitely location based. Like there are probably more Alabama fans than there are Auburn fans in the state. And I say
Since
in
they're
the state
bigger
because
name.
outside of the state, it's just a bunch of bandwagon fans. If you're not from Alabama and you go for them, you're just a bandwagon fan. Shut up. No one cares about Nick Saban anymore. Anyway, but no,
He was a dick anyway.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's very much so Auburn is on the east side of the state, Tuscaloosa is on the west side of the state and a little more north. And so there's kind of like this diagonal line that goes through. But it's predominantly Alabama. You would but not by a large margin. It's probably like maybe 55-45, like not that crazy, but you'll have both fans in every part of the state because people move and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So well, for me, I mean, the Alabama thing. I mean, I'm a huge college football fan, and Alabama just drives me nuts because I mean, a lot of times they get so much hype, and they're not as good as they were hyped up to be.
Yeah.
But the thing for me for Auburn is, in my lifetime, there's only been like three sections of time where they were actually good,
Mm-hmm.
where they matter, at least for football.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of them was when Bo Jackson was there, and that was back when I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
He was a football player and baseball player, and so he kind of put them on the map for me as a teenager from
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah. So they've
And then you had Cam Newton going there because he stole laptops at Florida. you know,
allegedly. Okay. Allegedly.
was no allegedly he got convicted. That's why he had to leave.
It doesn't. Hey, everybody's stolen something in their life. What have you stolen recently?
Not recently, but I have a memory of when I was 2 and I stole a lollipop.
yeah.
Raising criminals. Yeah.
Hey, ask her what happened. Ask her what I did.
They made me pay it back.
I made her go back to the store and go.
What were you making when you were 2 years old? How much were you pulling from birthdays and stuff?
$0.
Dude, man, fuck, that's rough. Yeah, don't talk shit about Cam Newton. You had your kids stealing lollipops at 2 years old.
She grabbed it at the check stand, and we got to the car, and I was like, "Where the hell did you get that?" And so I got to go back in, and I made her say, "I took this, and then I paid for it."
That's funny.
It was a good lollipop.
Yeah.
Damn. You almost got away with it. You got to be quieter. Since then, what have you stolen?
Nothing? I'm
Just spoons from the kitchen. For some reason, she collects dirty spoons in her bedroom.
They're probably not dirty when she takes them there.
Well, no, but she just keeps them there. And then the rest of the house gets 2 spoons for the week.
Yeah. That sounds like my house, honestly. My wife will take spoons or something to work, and I'm like, I just washed spoons. How do we only have 2 left? And she's like, oh, yeah, I have some at work.
So, but also living in the South, and then we talked about the the hate, if you have hate or whatever towards other ones. So with the show came out a while ago. I watched it a little bit because there's obviously a stereotype for the South.
Racism.
Well, that and the hillbillies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I watched a few episodes of a show came out it was called The Floribama Coast.
Yeah.
And so is that pretty accurate down there?
Listen, it's
Because that's what I thought it was.
It's a reality show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, everything is dramatized a little bit in those things. So like to a degree, it's a little excessive, but it's pretty accurate. I mean, there's a bar called the Floribama. It was probably in the show. I haven't seen it, but it was probably in the show. But like, I mean, it's
Yeah,
I
think their house was not too far from there because I think that's where they partied all the time.
There's a major event in the middle of the summer every year, and I mean like major event. Like, I don't know what kind of music festivals y'all have, but it's a huge festival. It's called the Mullet Toss, and it's literally a competition about tossing mullet, which is a fish. For those that don't know,
Yeah, not the haircut.
no, mullet toss. They throw dead fish on the beach, and the whole goal of this whole thing is just to get hammered in the sun. That's it. Yeah, everyone does. Just gets trashed. It's so much fun. But yeah, I mean that's
My honest first reaction after watching that show was because it was right about the time when a couple of years ago when Elon Musk made the announcement that he was going to come out with humanoid robots.
oh, yeah.
And my first thought was, I guarantee you somebody on the Floribama coast is going to get electrocuted trying to fuck their robot that's plugged in.
Yeah. It's definitely a lower intelligence level area. I think. Yeah, I think there are a lot of dumb people there. I mean, there's also a lot of dumb people here in Reno. You guys are like Nevada's like 47th in education or something like that.
I think it's 48th, but yeah, you're right.
I think it's Alabama and Nevada fighting for that spot right there.
Yeah,
but Mississippi,
to stay ahead of Mississippi.
We're just staying ahead of Mississippi. That's the only goal is to beat Mississippi, and we're crushing them.
yeah. But so with the whole, so I don't want to keep hounding on the Southern thing because I do like the Southern culture.
Yeah.
I mean, the parts that I've seen is there's been some, I have some bits about being in the South, going to the South and stuff. But for the most of all, it was really good. The people are super nice down there.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's just, there's a few things that, like I went to New Orleans. The whole city smells like piss the whole time.
Piss is the best way you could describe that smell because it's terrible.
It smells like burnt piss. It smells like somebody pissed on a
Yeah,
radiator the
it
whole time.
in the summer, I don't know what time you went there, but in the heat of the summer in like August, it's the
We were
worst
there the
smell you'll
week
ever smell.
after Mardi Gras.
Oh, so that's early in the year, right?
Yeah,
You
it was
got
like
that's
the
why
end
it
of
smelled like
February.
piss because it was early in the year. You get there in July, August, you will I don't know how to explain it. It's like every bad smell in one. I love New Orleans. It's a great city. It's a lot of fun, but it smells
Yeah,
horrible.
well, we were there, literally there for like 17 hours.
Yeah.
And we drove down from Memphis because my buddy lived in Memphis. We drove
Mm.
down.
You guys went to Mardi Gras?
We didn't. We went down the week after just so
Oh.
just so I could say I went because I was out to
Mm.
visit him. So we just drove down because it was like a 4 hour drive or whatever. So we went down, spent the night down there, and then
Yeah.
came back the next day. But and that's all I remember is like I don't want to go back to New Orleans. All I smelled was pistol. It smelled
Yeah.
like somebody pissed on a school bathroom radiator
Yeah.
the whole time there. It smelled like burnt piss the whole time.
I will say though, Creole food is some of the best food.
I love that
you'll
that's what
have.
that's my
It's
point.
so good. It's
I love
worth
Southern
going to the
culture.
city just for the food. It's so good.
Because I love Southern culture because I love the food.
Mhm.
I love barbecuing. I love making, people make ribs and stuff in like St. Louis, Missouri, and all
Yeah, yeah,
that. But I like to make the country ribs like they make in the South. That's what I make is the country ribs.
yeah, yeah.
The-
By the way, just someone, the barbecue team from Alabama just won the barbecue championships again this year. So, so fuck you, St. Louis and Texas and whoever the hell else. I don't care.
So that's like
Yeah.
when we were in Memphis. I was like, we trying. I was like, this is good. This is good. This is okay.
Mhm.
I still like I like the fucking country ribs that they make
Yeah.
in the South.
We got
But-
this place called Dreamland Barbecue. And there's a couple locations. I think it started in Montgomery or Selma, right outside Montgomery. But we have one in Mobile where I'm from too, and it is some of the best, just like barbecue.
Do they still segregate the country ribs from the baby back ribs there?
Listen, we don't say the word segregation in the South anymore. All right, we got a lot of problems with that, So we gotta,
um, but no, I love the Southern culture. Eh,
we are nice people. We say hey, and we think it's weird when you don't.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that like I thought that I wouldn't miss because I get so annoyed people talking to me in public and like whatever, like I don't want to have to deal with it. But like so I thought I wouldn't miss it. But I feel like everywhere else people just almost ignore you and you're you're like,
Well, in Seattle, they don't even ignore you. They're actually kind of like offish to you. They're like,
yeah,
they call it the Seattle freeze, and
Yeah,
there's a real reason. I mean, I still have it a little bit, but it took me a long time to even start to shed it a little bit when I
Yeah.
got here because I think everybody thought I was an asshole. I was like,
Yeah.
this is just how we are up there, and it takes.
I actually appreciate that more because because in a lot of major cities like that have that sort of New York's very famous for just people being assholes to you in public or whatever. But like I appreciate that because you're acknowledging me and I am also an asshole. So like let's go. You want to go? We'll go blow for blow. But like being ignored, like just oh man, I'm like I'm here. Hello, does you see me? Like you don't have to say anything, but like a nod, like I don't know, just I don't know. People are like weird about it.
Yeah, when I was in Memphis with to visit my buddy the first time I was out there,
Yeah.
to visit him, we were like walking down the street. We were going to Beale Street. We parked on this other street,
Yeah.
and we were walking down to go to Beale Street, and we were at the crosswalk. And as we're at the crosswalk, somebody was waiting in a car this way, and they had their window down. And this lady, she just goes, "Hi," and I'm like looking at her, and my buddy goes, "Hi," and I go, "You know her?" And he goes, "No."
No.
I was like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And I was like, "What?" And then after she passed, we went, and I was like, "What was that about?" And he goes, "We just say hi to each other here."
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck
We
is
take
that
it far too. Like if you're driving down a road and it's like fairly empty or whatever, and then a car passes you, you wave at the car that passes you, and they wave back. Like that's what, or you do the little, if you got, flip your hand up or whatever. Like
Yeah.
we just acknowledge people's presence, which is
Yeah.
weird to me that people. Korea's even worse though. I'll tell you. If you get on an elevator with a Korean person, they don't know you or whatever, they'll literally turn and face into the corner so that they'll pretend you're not, I'm not, and it's not rude to them or anything. They'll turn and face in the corner and play on their phone.
Mind your fucking business.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you tried to talk to them, they'd be like, what the fuck do you want? Leave me alone. Are you homeless? What do you need?
I don't know you.
Yeah. It's To me, it's funny there because they're actively like seeking ways to get away from you, but like I don't know,
Yeah.
acknowledge me. I don't know.
um. So as far as comedy goes and
Mm.
stuff, what are your favorite aspects of comedy?
Uh, I just love laughter, dude. I love making people laugh. It's simple as that. I mean, the writing process is fun and all that, but like at the end of the day, me being on stage and saying something and any amount of people laughing is it's an instant dopamine hit. And like for both of us, because you're laughing, so you're getting the dopamine, and that is making me feel good. So I'm getting, so I don't know, just a simple laughter of it is my favorite part.
All right. Um. Well, yeah. 'Cause for me, I love the writing.
Yeah.
I hate being on stage. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. I guess hate is the wrong word. It's my least favorite part
I'm
of
not
it.
stealing the beat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're all out there for us. Um. My I don't. I don't want to say I hate performing. That's strong. I just it's my least favorite part. I
Yeah.
uh I like writing. I like putting together a set, and I'm usually pretty confident in my set. I just don't like getting up there and actually performing it. I feel like I'm stiff when I'm up there, and so I don't like getting up there and doing the set. And so I would say writing is my favorite part. I just and then then I'm in awe of the other comedians that get up there, and there's some that are out there, but you can tell they're not putting in work. They're just out there and doing it.
Oh yeah, it's easy to tell.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you getting out of this?
Socially, they
Yeah,
they just want to be friends with all funny
yeah.
and just hang out and do bits, which is fine. I understand those people to a degree. Like I don't like when they talk about being a comedian because I'm like you're just here to hang out. You barely even go up, or you know what I mean. So like I don't like when they talk about how they're a comedian, but I understand that like people want to be in that social circle, and so they do it to be involved
I
and
do
stuff like that.
too.
And that's
I
fine.
tell people all the time, it's like, dude, you can come and watch us, and there's we have a lot of funny people here in Reno, and I tell people all the time, I was like, but the funniest stuff you'll hear is when we're not on stage and we're in the back in the by
Yeah,
ourselves, just
yeah,
us talking, because we'll say whatever we feel like fucking saying,
yeah.
and that's where you hear the funniest fucking shit.
And and the thing about comedians is we are always trying to be funny. And we're always, if we're with other comedians, we're always trying to be funnier than the other comedian too. So it's just a nonstop bit. Like everyone's doing bits the whole time, and it
Yeah,
just
for me, I don't know if I'm trying to be funnier than everybody else. I'm just trying to like feed off of them. If they say something funny, I want to say something funny too.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not trying to be
because you
better than
want to
them.
be in the bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to add to the because
that's like one of my big things too. Is on shows is I don't ever tell I don't really go and tell comedians you shouldn't do that, don't do this. But what I'll tell them is, hey, have you tried this? And then give them another line to add on to whatever they were already
yeah, give
doing.
them a new tag or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, I I don't usually give people notes unless they're like super young and they like are very new and you can tell they like need something and it's like a general note like hey maybe just
well,
try it
yeah,
without
there's
your phone or something like that.
yeah.
But like otherwise, like I want you to if you want notes, ask me because I'm not gonna assume you want to know what I have to say. But
For me, if it's a friend or somebody I really know,
yeah.
and they have a new bit they're doing, and and they do a bit, and
Mhm.
and I can see there's potential there. I'll go and tell them, hey, with that bit, try this. Like I
Yeah, yeah,
recently, or this week, because I just came back like 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
and a comedian that I hadn't seen do a bit that I'm friends with, he was doing this bit I hadn't seen him do before. I was like, hey, that's fucking funny.
yeah,
Maybe at the end you say this, and he looked at me and he goes, dude, I didn't think of that.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
get that in there.
yeah. And you do establish like relationships with people that you can just like go up to. Like Chris Thompson, I like the way he writes. I understand kind of how he writes. So if like he's doing a joke on stage, I feel no like I'll just go give him a note afterwards or whatever because like we have that sort of relationship. Yeah. Cause so and those are always fun because those people will then in turn
Yeah,
return the favor and help you with your bits too.
yeah. And the thing is when you do stuff like that, you're not doing it to try to get credit. You don't claim it.
No, no.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started and I was doing and two of my mentors up there, the only two people that I really talked to for the most part. One of them had this joke they made online on Twitter, and so I made a comment on it, which would end up, would have been a good tag for it. And he
Yeah.
goes like, "Oh, I love that. I'm gonna have to steal." I said, "That's yours. That was your bit.
Yeah.
That's just your tag for you."
Yeah, yeah.
And then and I showed Glinda, that was what was going on. Well, then we went to a show, and he was the headliner, and he did that bit. And he used the tag,
Yeah.
and so then after the show, when we were all hanging out with the comedians, Glinda's like telling people, "Oh, he used one of Jeff's jokes." I was like, "Shut up! That's not what happened. You can't say that. That's not,
You
that's
know-
you don't. That's not
Yeah.
what happened. That's not what happened at all. He had a joke. I gave him. I said a line that I think would be funny to go with it.
Yeah.
And he said I might have to steal that. And I said that's your joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
He didn't use my joke.
Yeah.
He did his joke and used a tag that was come up with
Based
amongst
off
the
his
group.
premise.
Yeah.
Like he started it,
Yeah.
and
I
you
was like, don't
like added to
ever
it. But
tell
like,
somebody.
yeah.
Don't ever tell people that somebody used my joke unless
Yeah.
it was actually my joke.
Yeah. 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 I've actually had people that I've given a note to, and they've, I don't know, incorporated it or whatever, and then I'll see it in a show and I'll be like, "Oh, that was funny." And then or they'll get like a really big laugh and they'll come up to be like, "Hey, thanks for that tag." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I gave you that."
Yeah.
I don't, cuz that's how I see it. Like if I give you a tag, if I give you a like whatever, it's yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not mine anymore. You came up with the premise, you got me thinking that direction. I wouldn't have done that without you. It's yours. You know what I mean?
We're here to help each. In my opinion, we're here to help each other.
100%.
Make everybody. Everybody can be funny. There's no quota on laughs.
Sure, exactly.
That used to be my big thing up in Seattle because they were like people would get pissed. They're like, "Oh, what the fuck is he killing?" Now they're not gonna laugh at me. I was like, "They'll laugh at you if you're funny."
I think
There's no quota on laughs. People didn't come out and say I can laugh 5 times tonight.
that to me that's like I understand like if you're a headliner and then you book some comedian that, or you get some comedian who's like on, like you're on tour with or whatever, they open for you, and like for whatever reason they're crushing in a crazy way, like you can be like, "Dude, you gotta," because I'm not with my material, I'm not doing that, you know what I mean? But like this is
You
like,
though. That's on
yeah,
that's on
that's
the headline.
my always thought is like, be better. You should be funny. If I go before you and I crush and you come up after me and you can't kill as hard as I did, that's not because I crushed. That's because you didn't crush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm the same way. I'm like, no, that's
Yeah,
it's on you,
people always
buddy.
say,
Like you
people always
step
bitch
up.
about it, like, I don't want to go after him. He's killing. I'm like, I want the crowd to be fucking already in an uproar and so happy that they just saw them.
Yeah.
Because even if my shit doesn't hit, they're probably still gonna laugh because they're in a good mood because they just laughed for fucking 5-7 minutes before me.
If you can get if the person in front of you makes people laugh, it's good for you.
Yeah.
Even if if you don't have a great set, it's good for you because like you said, like they're in the mood for it.
Yeah.
They can get with it. They're not thinking so
I'd rather
deeply
do
about
that
it.
than go up to somebody bomb in front of me. I hate going up in front of somebody just killing. I'm just like,
Yeah.
or just eating shit in front of me because
Yeah.
now the crowd's like, oh, what the fuck did we come here for?
So
And then you get up there, and then now you got to try to win them over right off the bat because, and usually your second best joke. I mean, the regular structure is your second best joke is your first joke.
yeah,
And if they're just like, if that's just kind of getting them back,
yeah.
and you got a whole bunch of mediocre stuff in the middle before you get to your closer. Oh, then your set's gonna suck too.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't mind if someone bombs in front of me at like a mic, but if it's a show, it's a
Well,
different
yeah,
thing.
the
Like
mic is different because the mic
Yeah.
there's no control.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no control.
and
over
everyone's
it.
bombing anyway.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, like 90% of the people are gonna bomb anyway.
But on a
Except-
show,
yeah.
like if you bomb, I hate it because I'm like, I have to work extra hard, and I know I'm funny, and I know my jokes can get laughs, and so like but I know that if you bomb, I have to work twice as hard on those jokes.
Yeah,
Or I might even have to change the material or whatever because like I need these people to start fresh and they're still thinking about how bad you bombed.
yeah.
You know
that's
what I mean?
that's my point. I was making. Yeah, the open mic. I'm not talking about the open mics. I'm talking about that on a show. Is going. I'd much rather go up in front after somebody that fucking murdered because they're
Yeah.
already in the mood. Somebody goes up there and bombs, and then I'm going up, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man? These people paid for tickets, and they're already pissed because they had to watch that.
Yeah,
Now they're gonna hate me, even if my first joke is like my second best joke. Even if they get a little bit of a chuckle from it, now I got all my other stuff in the middle before I get to my 3 good jokes at the end.
yeah.
You know, it's like
That's what I mean. You may have to change up your material at that point. Either add a new joke or like change the like order or whatever. But
Well, this Saturday was Were you there this Saturday?
At Underworld?
Yeah.
No, I had a Don't Tell show in South Lake, but I heard you guys did well.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. It
Yeah.
was so fun. We had a whole fucking row of drunk chicks in front. We found out
Oh
they're
man.
Mormons.
Oh God.
They were all sisters.
No, seriously, God, they're Mormon. Come kill them.
And all their brothers were at home. It was so fun.
That's
What
so
they were
fun.
talking, I mean, I think it was Maddie Redhead.
Yeah. Oh, he's
Got-
good for Mormons.
He got him talking about. He goes, so which one of your brothers? Because they were talking about how many brothers they had. Because there was like 5
Yeah.
sisters there, and they had a bunch of brothers too.
Yeah.
He's like, so which one of your brothers' wives do you hate the most? And then they fucking answered. And he's like, "Oh, which one is he? Is he the youngest?" And they're like, "Yeah, he's the youngest." He goes, "Yeah, it's always the youngest." You know. Oh, it
Hey,
was
fuck you, Maddie. I'm the youngest.
but and so and but and I went up before Maddie, and when I came back, back into the green room there at Underworld,
Yeah.
I was like, those chicks in front are wild. And I said, not in a bad way. They're not
Yeah,
like interrupting or anything like that. They're into it and they're having fun
Yeah.
and they're responding. And like Brandon and Cy, they both lit up and go, oh, fucking awesome. So then after that,
Yeah.
everybody went out and just had a fucking blast with them.
Yeah, I met up with Cy and some people at Black Rabbit after that show Saturday. I was coming back up. I was dropping Adi off, and I met up with them and I asked. They said the show was crazy good. It was like one of the best you guys have had in a bit. So I'm super excited for that because like Underworld took like not like a dip or anything, but like the open, not the open mic. What do you call it? Ladies' night, kind of like it's been a struggle in the past couple of months. But
We've also kind of I don't know if it's common knowledge yet, but we've kind of honed that back a little bit. It's gonna be once a month now. It's not gonna be an every week thing.
Yeah.
We switched to
it's gonna be
Thursday
like,
instead of
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because we had the other show on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And so we switched it to where it's just gonna be Thursdays once a month.
Yeah.
They can get a little bit of
like,
variety of stuff. And next they wanted to do some stuff. They wanted to do some like magic and
yeah, see, they're doing like poetry or something like that too.
They wanted to get some stuff in there, which is cool.
Mm.
I mean, that room is a good vibe for pretty much
That's-
any atmosphere.
That's what I'm saying. Like even though like you guys they're like when there's no one in the room, that's still a fun room to do comedy in because it's so intimate and so there's never no one. There's usually like one.
Nights when we had 3 people show up, it's still a fun fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
one
usually
guy-
one or two groups in there.
Sebastian was the one guy that was there that one
Oh
night.
yeah. I
We
know
all
that.
had fun with him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's like
And so that room is so I think it's one of the best venues to do comedy at in Reno. If you can sell the tickets and pack the place out, it's even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's so intimate, it's dark. And if you get good stage lights in there, it's like perfect and it's so much fun to do.
yeah.
I've seen a bunch of comedians posting clips from the shows that they do at Underworld.
Yeah.
And that goes to show that like number one, they're doing well enough because of where they're at. Like the crowd's good, they're laughing so that they can post that clip. And number two, that like the environment is good for like comedy
Yeah.
to view.
And you can
So,
record
like,
your shit there. And
Yeah,
get
it's so good. Yeah. Shout out to Luke Demas who records everyone's set.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hook the man
Luke is
up. He'll hook you up.
Yeah. So before we wrap up here, you have a podcast as well. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. It's just me, Justin Hudson. It's called the Reno Green Room Podcast. We sit down with like local comedians, like kind of like we're doing now. We interview them about we try to get into a lot of the comedy of it. And so it's like super inside baseball. So like people that like comedy and enjoy the like active like understanding comedy even, then like they can listen to it and kind of see what goes into it. And we're starting to shift to video now, so we'll be shooting actual video here the next time we do it. We have one already in the bank, and then we're getting some more going. So, yeah.
All right, cool. And so before we leave, do you want to give people where they can hit you up on Insta and social media, and where they can watch your podcast or listen to your podcast?
Yeah. So for podcast, Reno Green Room Podcast, it's on everywhere. It's Spotify, YouTube, and I don't know. It's in my Instagram handle. Not in the Instagram bio.
Yeah, so go to the Instagram and
Instagram, TikTok. It's both at DLowe Comedy, DLOWE Comedy. That's me. Those are the two I'm on, and it'll have links to anything else I do in there too. Mainly Instagram.
all right, yeah, go check that out. And thank you, Daniel, for coming.
Oh yeah,
out.
this is fun.
Hey, thanks everybody for watching the first episode of Refresh with Jeff.
Yeah, I feel refreshed. I don't know if it was the Modelo, but you
Yeah.
know.
We got the 0 topics.
cause oh, it's a living hell. Refresh with Jeff, let the truth unfold. Worn out shoes, but never too old. Get it off my chest, let the laughter roll. Ranting here with my heart and soul. Complaining about the gray in my hair, but these kids don't care. It's like screaming at the deaf, so grab a beer and refresh with Jeff. And refresh with Jeff. And refresh with Jeff. And refresh with Jeff. Refresh with Jeff. And refresh with Jeff. And refresh with Jeff.